The moment I realized is when my daughter at the time, she was 5, told me I was a bad mom.
Mhm.
I would,
Oh,
I would get hangovers that would last like 2 to 3 days, so I would be, like, laying and sleeping on the couch, and I wasn't following through on things that I said I would do for her, and then she came
Mhm.
up to me and she said, "I don't like seeing you like this. You're just being a really bad mom." And, like,
oh,
she'd never said anything along those lines to me before. I
kind of
think
a wake
that
up call.
yeah, that really hit home.
This is Rock Bottom with Ryan. No sugarcoating, no filters. The pain, the chaos, the truth. No bullshit. Just recovery.
Sober Strong apparel isn't just lifestyle wear, it's battle gear. We rep sobriety like a badge of honor, and every piece you throw on says you're part of the crew that doesn't back down. Every order fuels recovery with 10% donated to treatment facilities. Hit SoberStrongApparel.com and use code ROCKBOTTOM at checkout for 10% off. Stay sober, stay true, rep the crew.
All right, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan. I'm here with co-host Rachel, and we got Kaitlin Gill as our guest today. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
You,
Good.
Kaitlin.
So,
Yes.
so first couple questions. What was your drink or drug of choice?
It was vodka. I drank vodka, and when I was doing drugs, it was cocaine.
Okay. All right. So, how long have you been sober from alcohol?
From alcohol, just over 18 months, almost 19 months.
Awesome.
Same.
I'm up to 14 months in a couple of days here, but that's awesome.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
yeah, do you mind kind of going into just a little bit about what your life was like leading up to drinking, using for the first time, and kind of go into
Yeah.
how it escalated from there?
So I was born in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and I lived there till I was like 18 with my parents, obviously. And I had a really good upbringing. Like I had very involved parents. I was in a lot of sports. They were like block parents. So like they had a little sign in the window where you could like go to their house for help if you were like on the street and distressed. So like very good role models and stuff. But my dad did drink a lot, like my whole life growing up. It just wasn't noticeable to me because I was a child and they were very good at keeping their problems separate from being like parents until I obviously got older and my parents split up when I was 13 and that's was because of my dad's drinking. So I obviously
Right.
started to notice way
Yeah.
more of the choices that were being made. And I have an older brother, so he ended up living with my dad and I lived with my mom when they split up. And I
Mhm.
would originally kind of go back and forth, but then it was my dad's house was just very not good, so I ended up staying with my mom majority of the time.
Mhm.
And then I did start drinking in high school, but like casually, maybe just at my neighbor's house, we would get like those 40s of Bex and like or like the old English like fees when you could like
That
get
was
those.
my first drink was a 40 of OE, so I was just
I
Yeah.
played
that would
beer
get me
pong with
good.
those. We used to
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
beer pong with OEs and 211s. You know about those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steel reserves.
And those would get us buzzed too. I wish I could have drank that
Hell
cheap for a
yeah, they
long time.
did.
Yeah. Get them
Bang for
like
your
we
buck.
would order them from like Dial a Bottle and like just hope the person didn't like ID us at the door, which like
Yeah.
half the time didn't happen. So it was just very easy to get. And yeah, my parents obviously when they divorced, they were just kind of almost like reliving their own lives. So I had like way more freedom as a teenager, I find, than like families that were still together as a family. It's almost like they were like regressing back to like their teenage years of like, okay, like now I'm out in my own again, like doing my own thing. And then my dad actually did move into doing drugs. Like he moved some people into his house to like rent out rooms and then he started selling crack and cooking crack like in the house and it was quite the experience. So that was a big reason as to why I also never used to really go visit him. And I used to have such a close relationship with my dad. Like, he was the coach of all my hockey teams. Like, I would go watch him play hockey. Like, we were at the arena like 5 days a week. Like, we had such a strong bond. And I didn't notice, obviously, at those times that he was under the influence most of the time. So I think when I realized that he was choosing to pick alcohol and drugs over like his family, it took a hit to like me mentally without me realizing because I was just a teenager.
Yeah.
Right.
So I ended up moving to Peterborough when I turned 18 to go to school. And my dad was actually the guy that drove me to move into residence. And he had a breathalyzer in his car. And I had to blow into the breathalyzer for like majority of the drive just to make sure I got to residence on like my move-in day.
Yeah.
And it's just those kinds of things I think just impacted me. So I started drinking like very heavily and I started to do drugs in college just because I wanted to feel the feeling that made him literally give up his whole family for
Yeah.
like
Right.
for
Like you
substance.
wanted to
I
be able
should
to relate to him and understand it better?
yeah, like it's like I just couldn't process like what was happening, I guess, like or
Yeah.
why he gave up his like we had such a good family in life, like why would you give that all up for drugs? And then like I
Right.
would start to do drugs and I'd be like, "Oh, this is amazing." Like
So
I'm
you kind
going
of
out having all this
understood.
it's like, oh, not like I understood, but it was like I when I would be high compared to not being high, like, I would be like, "Okay, like, you were feeling this, like, amazing feeling at
Mm-hmm.
that current point in time," and then, like, you're not even thinking about, like, who it's affecting around you in the moment, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Totally.
So how so
Yeah.
when did it go from like, the party kind of amount of drinking, just socially with friends, and did it kind of start to escalate like in college where you started drinking, partying a lot more, or drinking alone, or how'd that go?
It was
Yeah.
probably when it started when I was, like I lived on residence, and then I moved out of residence with some of the girls that I had lived on residence with, and, we would all party and drink, like, the same, but, like, they were still going to class. They were still showing up to work. They
Mm,
were not spending, like, their last pennies going to the liquor store, but it felt like we were still doing the same thing, but I was making all these like, I wasn't showing up to work. I wasn't showing up to class. So it's like I thought we were all doing the same things, and I don't know, like, I just didn't see it as a problem at the time. And, like, I was just like, I'm just doing what everybody else is doing without realizing that I'm throwing my whole life away in the process.
Yeah. And then none of your
right.
family or anything, and nobody's close to you, so they don't suspect anything.
No, and that was the biggest thing is, like, I could lie to everybody back home and tell them I was
Yeah.
going to
Be
class, I
like,
was doing
grades are
great.
great, class is awesome, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and they would have no idea, so and I think
Yeah.
part of it too was my mom, like, I bet my mom did know that I struggled with drinking. My mom is the type of person that cares very much about what people think. So when I did eventually tell her I wasn't in school and stuff, like I would come home to visit on the holidays and people would be like asking me about school because my mom would be lying, saying like
Mm,
I was still in school and I was doing all these things because she was like
yeah.
ashamed
Hmm.
of the choices I was making, which is understandable to me now. But at the time, I think that kind of also hurt my feelings that it was like she wasn't like I could feel like my parents weren't proud of like the person I was becoming.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were definitely ashamed, and they feel like it reflects on them too, is what I've learned from my own mother, who lied for me a lot. It's like they're like it reflects on them as a parent. Like, what did I do wrong? And they don't want to own that, just based on your
Yeah.
behavior. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then I would just I would drink all the time, like, I would feel hungover in the morning and then be like the hair of a dog, and I would, like, have a couple drinks, but, like, I wasn't just drinking a beer, like, I was drinking straight vodka, so, like, I would just start
Yeah.
to feel pretty buzzed pretty early in the day, and then it just carried on throughout the whole day of drinking.
yeah.
I obviously I did stop I do have 2 kids, so I did stop doing hard drugs when I found out I was having a child, and that is the last I believe the last time I touched them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like, drugs I quit for my children, and it was just obviously I got over that, and I never ended up going back to doing that. But
Hmm.
alcohol, I could not control whatsoever.
So
Right.
drugs like cocaine and stuff like that was more like a party aspect, or were you buying on your own and doing it by yourself, or how was that?
That I did go on like probably a year or two bender of doing it pretty much daily all the time. It would get dropped off at my work. Like there was a group of people at my work. It's just that I work in the restaurant industry. So it was just
Mm,
a lot of, yeah. And I was working in the kitchen at the time. So it was just a lot of the atmosphere I was in, the people I was surrounded by. That's not an excuse. Obviously, I'm old enough to make my own choices, but
Oh yeah, but
it,
we're still influenced
happens.
by our surroundings.
yeah. So that definitely took over a bit. And then I just was becoming in debt and like behind on bills or like not
Right.
paying my rent. And that was like a choice, obviously, where I had to like make a difference is like I can't keep living my life like this. But then for some
Hmm.
reason I never thought like that when it came to alcohol.
Okay, so but I understand this totally. You said you stopped doing the hard stuff, but you couldn't stop drinking. For me, drinking was my drug of choice. I mean, I did dabble in other stuff, but I was addicted to alcohol hardcore. I kept drinking. I mean, not while pregnant, but I actually went to go play beer pong, like with the C-section like stitches still in, like right out of the
Yeah.
hospital. So, but I kept doing other drugs that I said I would never try, but alcohol had me do it, you know what I mean? But my
Yeah.
question to you is like, what was your 24-hour period as a mother still drinking?
Like the first time I drank after becoming a mom.
Mm-mm. No, like when you realize like, holy shit, like I'm a mom and I'm drinking all the time. And what was your daily life like?
Well, the moment I realized is when my daughter at the time, she was 5, told me I was a bad mom.
Hmm.
I would, I would get hangovers that would last like 2 to 3 days, so I would be, like, laying and sleeping on the couch, and I wasn't following through on things that I said I would do for her, and then she came up to me, and she said, "I don't like seeing you like this. You're just being a really bad mom." And, like,
Mm,
she never said anything along those lines to me before. I
kind of
think
a wake
that
up call.
yeah, that really hit home.
Right.
I don't think like, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't quit or I can't think of how it made me feel, like, alcohol and being a mom didn't really that wasn't, like, a thing for me. Like, I thought I was managing being a mom, being drunk.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I would drink all the time. Like, I thought I needed alcohol to be able to talk at, like, play dates and stuff. I thought it was
I
making me, like, a better parent because I was, like, more social to other parents. And
Yes.
it wasn't, like, I had to stop drinking because I was gonna die, like, I was having, like, shakes on my couch, calling the ambulance because, like, I can't even get up from my couch to go to the bathroom.
That's what happened. How often did that happen? Do you think? Because I
I
can completely relate to that.
I would like, if I would drink for, like, a week straight, I would literally be trying to take a shot of vodka, and as soon as I would swallow it, I would throw it back up, like, my
Oh,
body
yeah.
was, like, rejecting it because it was
Yeah,
just like, "You can't do this, like, you're gonna die."
yeah. The
Right.
shakes and like being completely crippled by them was the most frustrating thing. And then it's like I can't even get drunk to get rid of the shakes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then you're,
Yeah,
like, scared because you don't know what's gonna happen to you at that point, right? And
Yeah.
I'd heard so many horror stories from other people of, like, you go into withdrawal seizures, and
yeah.
my partner actually just has seizures in general, so, like, I deal with he hasn't in a couple of years, but I was dealing with those while we were drinking. So, like, he actually
Hmm.
had one time when we were both drinking, and I thought he was just, like, wasted spitting nonsense, and he was having a seizure on the floor, and now I'm, like, having to call 911, and my kids are, like, freaking out, and it's just such a toxic, crazy environment that, like, I wasn't even looking at, like, this is so bad and wrong for my children to be in.
Right.
That is frightening. That's frightening. So did you? How many times do you think you were hospitalized, and what did they tell you?
Well, I had been, like, over a dozen times I'd woken up in the hospital and had no idea how I got there. And, like, they
Mm.
would tell me that I had my stomach pumped, and they would give me, like, some juice and stuff, and I would just go home and call it a day, and, like, I admitted myself to the hospital twice for help. So the first time I was in there for 5 days. I got maxed out on diazepam for the first 72 hours to not go into like withdrawal seizures. They asked me who they would want me to contact in the event of my heart stopping and if I would want to be revived. That was a pretty
Jeez.
scary moment.
Yeah. Here you are, like a young woman who's like thinks you're like can handle anything, but you realize you reach the point where it's actually gonna possibly kill me, and I'm hearing it from professionals now. Like that's frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I just kept thinking, like, at the end of the day, like, if I keep picking drinking, my kids are gonna have no parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my partner would drink just as much as I do, but he could stop. Like he could control himself. He would stop. He would stay sober for the kids. Like I was just choosing to drink every single day, all day, not caring how anybody was feeling, leaving my house at 1 o'clock in the morning, blacked out. I don't even know where I'm going. Like
Hmm.
wake and like my partner's just constantly mad at me, stressed out, which obviously isn't good for him. And I'm just like not even realizing how
You're like in a
fast and
fog.
yeah, and I'm, like, ruining everybody's life around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destroying your own body. Did the hospital or doctors ever tell you like what it was doing to your liver? Like, did they say that was a threat, or was it mainly the withdrawals they were worried about?
No, it was the withdrawals. I actually ended up going to get a test for I had, like, something wrong with me, and then they had to put, like, the dye in where they, like, go and they can see all your insides, and surprisingly, I don't really have liver damage, which was a very big shock for me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
it, and
Me too.
it took like 6 months for mine to become normal. But
Yeah,
it can heal itself. But some of us do get lucky, and it's the damage isn't as bad.
Right.
But so that's awesome.
I did have, like, the years of breaks of drinking because I didn't ever drink when I was pregnant. Like, I always would quit. Like, I've had 2 kids, and I never drank throughout either pregnancy. Like, when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't drink, and that was it. And, the first child I had, I gained, like, 90 pounds in my
Uh,
pregnancy, and I couldn't lose it. So I think that after I had my first child and I was just not happy with myself, not happy with where I was at in life, and I was definitely dealing with postpartum, and then mixing it in with drinking just turned into a
Yeah.
disaster, and I was
yeah.
just becoming super unhealthy. So then when I found out I was pregnant the second time, I obviously did my pregnancy a lot differently, and I did try to get healthier. So I actually ended up losing weight during that pregnancy, which helped me be motivated, I guess, after my second child to like start a healthier lifestyle. So that is when I did start like my physical journey of being healthier, but I was still drinking. So like I would drink before I went to the gym. What am I accomplishing with that? I'd just be like pouring sweat and like not
Yeah.
working out properly and like
I would do
Right.
probably
that
look
too.
ridiculous.
Yeah. I
I'm
know.
I
sure I
never
was
did
annoying
that.
the girl I was going with.
I know it defeats the purpose. It's like I feel good that I'm working out and I'm maintaining my body, but at the same time, I'm fucking it up too. So,
I
Yeah.
always say
yeah,
balance. I always say balance. But no,
yeah,
I've never
that
tried
is.
that. I go to the gym a lot. I never tried that drunk though. I wasn't
Yeah, it was,
motivated back then.
I used to think it gave me, like, energy, like, I was always tired and stuff, and then I'd be like, "Oh, if I have a couple of drinks, I'll have, like, enough energy to go out and do something," and then I'd, like, fall asleep out in public,
Yeah.
When my
and,
withdrawals
like
would get really bad, I'd be scared to go to the gym or work out while I and possibly have withdrawals. So I'd have a few drinks beforehand, and then I would tell myself my reward for completing the workout is more drinks, and then I would
Yeah,
just use that as another reason. So it's like even my healthy stuff was revolved around.
yeah, and it's it was just a very messy lifestyle, and
Well,
me after I quit, like, obviously, it's very I'm not gonna lie, it's like I am a server and a bartender, so I'm, like, around alcohol on the regular.
mhm.
Serving it to people. My boss is like, "Make people order doubles," and I'm like, "Yeah, like, get drunk." And then people will be like, "How's this new drink?" I'm like, "No idea, I don't drink," but, like, everybody else loves it.
But at the,
Hey,
but at the same
gotta
time, you
do what
can
you
look at
gotta
those
do.
people and be like, well, they're going to be hungover tomorrow, and I'm not.
Yeah.
You're gonna
It
be
is,
dehydrated. You're gonna be dehydrated.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like sometimes I feel bad for people that are drinking large amounts and I see them. I'm just like, God, I'm so glad that's not me anymore. Even though it looks like sometimes they're having fun, I'm just like, at least I don't have to worry about the aftermath because that's what
yeah,
usually dominated me.
yeah.
And what are you doing now these days? What is your sobriety date? You said it's similar to me. Sounds like.
Yeah,
Close.
so I go to the gym. I was going to the gym a lot more than I do
Mm-hmm.
now, but I actually have a garden. So I got a plot in like a community garden for myself and my two daughters for us to grow like our own
Cool.
vegetables and stuff in the summer and our own flowers instead of buying them from the farmers market. Just like trying to teach them a little bit about like the value of money and like growing your own food and stuff. It just became like such a healthy habit I never thought I would be interested in, and then
I love that.
It's
I would like go home and then show up like 2 days later and things would be growing and I'd be like sending pictures to my boyfriend being like, "Look at this plant." Like
it's
Look
just
at this
like
rewarding though.
fucking pepper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I like looking for like yeah, yeah. Like I'd send him like pictures of a zucchini the size of my arm and I'm like, "This is crazy."
It
It's
is.
amazing.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Oh, good for you. Good for you." Like, "Thank you." But
And
he
you
is
lost
also very
weight.
yeah,
Sorry.
a lot. No, don't be sorry. I've lost pretty much all the weight that I gained, so that made me feel obviously a lot better and more confident in myself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds horrible, but people definitely treat you different based on your appearance. I don't know.
Yeah. How
I
much? So
find
you
that,
so most of the weight you gained was while drinking and stuff, and just not taking care of yourself.
yeah, yeah, I gained weight. Well, I gained weight while I was pregnant, but after that, I just kept gaining weight because yeah, I just drank a lot and I ate like crap and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just a very, very unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah. And you say people treat you different. How did your relationships change when you started getting sober and all that, and with your kids and everything? Did they start seeing the rewards of you not drinking and all that?
Yeah, so I've actually noticed it a lot at my workplace. I've worked in the same place for 11 or 12 years now, but I did get fired from there for being drunk at work. This manager that fired me, Derek, he has worked there the entire time that I've worked there. So he'd be one person that has literally seen me from meeting me as like a new person, watching me just like drink and do all these ridiculously crazy things, have to fire me from my employment, and then gave me a second chance and rehired me after I had my first child. And then I made him regret that choice by continuing the same thing I was doing of like showing up to work drinking and stuff.
Yeah.
But he had given me like so many chances. Like I was a waitress, I moved out of the kitchen, I was a waitress, and then I got caught drinking and I got put back in the kitchen instead of being like fired. And he's definitely been a huge supporter of that. But when I'm drinking, like, he did not respect or care about me because I wasn't respecting or caring about him. So now I find that now that I'm sober, like when I would drink, I had no filter. I would be like, fuck you, you're a fucking idiot. Like, no filter whatsoever. I would be rude to people at work. We used to have paper chits, and if I was cooking and I didn't, and you were a server and you rang in an appetizer, I would like stick the appetizer in my pocket and just like pretend it didn't even get rung in. And then people would be like, where's my food? And I'd be like, I don't know. And like,
Same.
I was just doing really bad, crazy things. And now that I don't drink, I, like, look back on that and I'm like, "I can't even believe, like, I worked here that long. I can't believe, like, the amount of chances you given me." Like, I will never speak to anybody like that. I definitely think before I speak now. I do not yell at people. I find a lot of new employees that come in that never knew me then, think I'm, like, the nicest person they've ever met, and then there's, like, people that have worked with me the whole 10 years who are like, "Should have seen her, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
She was wild."
That's cool.
And
But
we all were like that. We all have a past, right? Have an alter ego
yeah.
Yeah.
too. She wasn't nice.
Yeah.
She
Ratchet
was not
Rachel.
nice. Ratchet
Yeah, I've
Rachel, yeah.
actually heard you say that in your videos, yeah.
Yeah, she was a scary bitch. She was a scary bitch. And I could relate. I do have a question though, like what was your rock bottom? What was your rock bottom? What made you just say I'm done? I'm done.
Yeah. Describe that last 24 hours.
Mhm.
My last 24 hours. I was the second time I was admitting myself to the hospital. I went on like a drinking bender again for like a week and I woke up. I don't know if I woke up. I can't fully remember if I woke up or if my boyfriend was calling me But I lost my phone. It was gone for like 2 days and it kept saying it was like at our apartment. And I must have left my house at like 1 a.m. completely blacked out. Lost my phone. It was on the roof of where we live. I came home with like someone's ashtray, and I must have fallen in the staircase and it like broke all over the ground. And then I woke up on the couch again. I couldn't move. I was shaking. I kept saying I need an ambulance. I'm pretty sure my boyfriend was just tired of it because he was like, no, you don't. Like, you need water and you need to stop drinking. Like, you could
Mm-hmm.
like hear it in his voice. And then I was like, no, like, I seriously need an ambulance. Like, I need to go to the hospital. I'm going to die. I don't want to do this anymore. I need help and I can't quit by myself. And then I went back to the hospital and I was only there for 3 days this time, but I just knew like that was the second time I was there, literally feeling like I'm going to die. And I would just think about my kids the whole time on how, like, if were to happen to me, it'd probably stress out Shane. And what if that is the reason he has seizures? Because we don't know what it is that's causing them. And then they're just going to have no parents and they don't deserve that. So sorry, it makes me sad, but like, they're just
It's
going to end
normal.
up
It's
being these
okay.
two sweet, innocent little girls that like have nobody because
Mm-hmm.
I chose to drink vodka over being a good parent.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I haven't drank since that moment.
Have you ever had any
Like,
moments in your sobriety where you felt like you could go back or try to be a normal drinker under control, or where you felt so triggered that you almost took a drink?
Yeah, my 1 year of not drinking, the day after my 1 year of celebrating no drinking, I went to work. I was in a great mood. I was probably excited because I made it to 1 year of not drinking. And then I get called in the office the next morning to find out that some of my coworkers, sorry, had gone to my management and said that they thought I was drinking at work that night because I was loud and excited and I kept going into the back. So because I was in a good mood and I was happy and proud of myself, I must have been drinking. And like I kept going to the back because that's where we keep everything to stock the side stands and everything else in the restaurant. So I was like doing my job.
Yeah.
And people twisted that into I must have relapsed and I'm drinking at work again. So then instead of somebody coming to me, I was watched for 48 hours by different coworkers to report back to my manager to tell them how my behavior was. Instead of somebody being like, oh no, Kaitlin might have relapsed. Maybe we should see if she's okay.
wow.
So
So then
here
at
you
that
are.
point, I was like, well, why the fuck am I even staying sober when all these people that I thought were like supporting me and so proud of me are just saying all this shit about me?
Yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's frustrating. Very frustrating.
So that,
I had pneumonia the day after my 1 year. So people were like, didn't hear from me for a few days. And I was getting accusations like, are you sure not hungover? Are you sure you didn't go home after our after the AA meeting and start drinking? I'm like, no, it's just shitty timing. And then here you are in a great mood, enjoying yourself, and you still get accused. So kind
Yeah.
of sucks that those demons still follow us, where people like, you
yeah,
feel like they trust you after this long, but it's like they still are
Oh,
worried that you're going to slip up. So that ever happened to you, Rachel?
yeah. I mean, people stopped now. I literally make drinks for family members if I whatever now, but there was a time I was actually just using mouthwash about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and my fiance was walking into the bathroom as I was taking a swig out of it, and it was out of a brown bottle. It wasn't the normal Listerine bottle, so it kind of did resemble I don't know what, a bottle if you look quickly. And John went running to grab it out of my hand. I said, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm fucking using mouthwash, dog. Like for real, literally word for word." I was like, "Yo," like, and he was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And so I was like, and then I threw the mouthwash down and I walked out and then I like breathed heavily and I took a deep breath and I was like, okay, like I have to understand where he's coming from though, because he's seen me literally do that though. He has turned a corner while I was chugging out of a bottle multiple times in the 9 years of being with me. So I kind of had to like breathe and be like, okay, I get it, but that wasn't fucking fair. It didn't make me want to drink, but it upset the fuck out of me. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to just be normal. Like that's how I
I
yeah,
felt.
know.
I was like, I
You
just want
want
to be
people to
normal.
treat you normal. Yeah. Totally get it.
But yeah.
It's Kaitlin, when you look back at like your past and your upbringing and childhood and your relationship with your dad, you look back and like think, were you trying to numb something for a long time, even if it was just partying in college and drinking after that? Do you feel like you were numbing that pain or other kind of pain? Or
Yeah, I think when I moved away, I felt very like left out of things. Like I feel like my mom would keep things from me, so like it just felt like I was like excluded or something. I feel like I should point out that my dad is sober now. He's been sober
good,
for 10 years.
that's awesome.
He actually he gave me like a bunch of AA books and stuff and has been a very good supporter of it now. I just
Good.
want to make sure I say that in case he
No,
does.
that's so cool that he turned it around too. So I'm sure that
Yeah.
helped inspire you too.
Yeah, and then also part of my rock bottom, I feel like I don't even know why I didn't mention this is I did get my kids removed from my household for 3 months. So
Wow.
that was yeah, there was an incident, my partner and I were drinking, the police ended up getting called. I ended up being the one getting taken away that night, and then I guess the police had taken the kids from our house, and I didn't know about this because I wasn't here. Uh, yeah, they were gonna go to foster care, but then they did end up going with Shane's aunt, and then they were living with my dad. So my dad was a huge help for
It's great.
keeping them and helping. That did put a little bit of a damper on our relationship because I think he was following the rules too much on what we were allowed to do with the kids and what we weren't, kind of thing. As to like
Mhm.
when CAS was giving us more leeway, my dad wasn't agreeing with them. And then at that point, it wasn't in his control. So then it kind of caused a damper. So they did end up going to live with Shane's mom for a month. They came
Mhm.
back pretty quickly. Like we did get our shit together and obviously make changes that needed to be changed. But
Mhm.
that wasn't the reason I quit drinking. I had already tried to quit before they'd gotten removed from the house and I had relapsed.
Great.
Yeah.
Um,
Was that the
in
hospital
Feb.
situation?
No, I relapsed on my stepdad's funeral. My
Okay.
Mm.
stepdad had passed away and I went home for a funeral and I seen a lot of people I hadn't seen in like 15 years and just emotions moving around. I ended up drinking and I ended up missing the funeral. And
Oh,
that I
wow.
think,
Oh,
yeah, I feel really bad about it still, obviously, and I can't take that back.
no.
Yeah.
But
You can. It's okay.
because I was on medication that if I drank, it would make me violently ill.
Mm.
Like I had gotten to try to quit drinking because I couldn't do it on my own, and then I chose to drink anyways on that medication. So when I woke up the next day when it was supposed to be the funeral, I couldn't go. Like I was very violently ill, and it
Man,
was a bad decision.
So
I'm
you said it
sorry.
took about 3 months to get your kids back, and you and your partner both had to put in a ton of work to get them back, I assume.
Yeah, yeah, a ton of work. That's how I originally had started going to AA. Like it was mandatory.
Hmm.
But then I chose to keep going just because I liked I was the youngest person there and I loved hearing stories from people who had been like 30, 40 years sober who quit when they were my age and it was like the best decision and they wish they started sooner and how amazing their life is and just like they're so friendly and polite and it's just such an
Mhm.
inviting, warm community of people I just never thought I'd have anything in common with.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love the program. I go there every day, and all my friends. I mean, even before the meeting today, I went over to fix a friend's Jeep, and then had that done in like 5 minutes, and then just spent like an hour and a half just talking to him, and not even like about recovery, but it just reminds me of like the relationships you can develop. And he's like 78 years old, and it's like I never pictured myself at 38 having one of my best friends be 78.
Yeah.
Everybody's such has such good hearts in there, and they all want the best for you, and they all have seen a lot. So whether they're our age or older, and it's like you get a little bit of everything. So it's really good community.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you handle those situations now? Like, say something did come up, like that funeral, the emotions going through your mind. If you go through moments like that these days, what are your go tos to kind of calm yourself down? What do you tell
Mhm.
yourself?
What do I tell myself? I have a little picture frame. Like I have a little frame that sits in my bathroom that says like it was like a card and then I turned it into a picture and it's like I'm so proud of you for becoming sober and you fucking deserve this. And it's like I see it every single day. And like I don't know what I just think back on like I could be in such shitty, stressful situations, but like if I drink, what is that gonna do for me? Like I
Mm-hmm.
know if I drink alcohol, like my boyfriend will leave. I will lose my kids. I will 100% lose my job. Like I know for a fact that if I start drinking again, those are 3 guaranteed things to happen. I can't tell you one guaranteed good thing that would come from me drinking again because there isn't
Exactly.
one. So I just try to tell myself, like, my kids are definitely worth having. Like, they're crazy, but they're amazing. And, like, I wouldn't, like, they're 6 and one's almost 3. So I drank a lot throughout the 6-year-old being a child. And I feel like I missed out on that and I can't get that time back. So I just want to get as much memories with her as I can at the age she is now and enjoy having her as a 6-year-old. And remember, she is just a 6-year-old and she is just a kid and she shouldn't be exposed to that kind of environment whatsoever. Like she's supposed to just like want to go to the park and do crafts and eat junk food all the time and I have to say no to her. Like that's the kind of things that I want to happen. Not her
Huh?
seeing me sleeping on the couch, asking when they're gonna get something to eat and I'm a bad parent, right? Like that's
Exactly.
all the motivation I need to know that
Yeah.
any bad situation isn't gonna get better from drinking.
Exactly. I mean, we're
Exactly.
talking, I'm sure this is the case with you too, Rachel. It's like today in the
Yeah.
meeting, we talked about how our problems become so much less and less as we get sober. And it's like my problem is sometimes my problems can be so minuscule that I focus so much on the little things now. A little bit, but then I'd remind myself, I'm like, my problems were 10 times worse 2 years ago. Like, and they were to the point where I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
even tackle one at a time because I would just drink my way through it. And now my problems are so little, I'm like, yeah, what's the point of letting them cripple me? Because I'm not going to drink anyways. So it makes everything seem a little bit easier. So knowing that
Yeah.
drinking's not an option anymore, I'm like, well, I can't drink through it. So I can just face it head on. And it's not even that big of an issue because I'm sober and my problems aren't that bad anymore. So,
Yeah.
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 All right.
It's kind of what
I
we
I try to
totally
discussed
tell
relate.
earlier.
my
I get it. You try to tell yourself, I'm sorry. I get it. I'm
no,
just
that's
letting you
okay.
know that.
Sorry.
I'm a
I just keep
mom, so
rambling.
No,
I
ramble
try
no,
to
on.
tell
ramble.
myself that like any situation that I can't control in the moment is gonna take peace away from me, right? And like if I can't control it, what is the point of me causing stress in my life at that point in time? Like I need to keep the peace that I have in that moment and then focus on the problem when it comes up. Like I can't worry about something that could happen on Friday and that's 4 days away and I'm stressed out about it for the next 4 days. Like I don't think about it until it comes up and I just try to enjoy the moment that I'm in because life is stressful nowadays. And if I just let every little thing keep like getting to me, I'm going to lose my mind. My dad always tells me if he doesn't laugh about the decisions he made in the past, he would go crazy. So, so like he just tries to laugh about the situations and laugh about like, you know, he could have been retired by now and still been in his own house and all this other stuff, but he made those choices and that's his decision and you can't dwell over those. You can't go
No,
back, right?
can't go back. You can
No,
look forward and never turn back, honestly. So, yeah, no, I like that way of looking at things because, yeah, it's true. We could have done a lot of things differently, but all that trauma, all the turmoil, it all led us to where we're at right now. So that's we wouldn't have had to overcome those obstacles because those things made us stronger in the end. I'm glad I went through all that stuff at this point, and I do laugh at a
me too.
majority of it. A lot of it, I'm kind of sad that making amends can be difficult and getting over the resentments and stuff, but. If I didn't go
Hmm.
through it, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I think I'm a better person now than I was before I even started drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
how
Yeah,
I
me
feel about
too.
myself.
it's pretty
I feel
rewarding.
like I
Me
didn't
too.
even know that, like, I could be nice to people. Like, I don't know how to word that. Like, I think I used to think I needed to drink to be funny. Like,
Same.
I don't know. Apparently, I'm hilarious at work and stuff. So, like, I think I'm funny. I'm a nice
Yeah.
person, and I didn't even know that. Like, I was just always so angry at like, I guess myself, but I just thought it was everybody. I just thought everybody around me was the problem, and I was
Yeah. So, I
fine.
mean, yeah, you kind of just
Yeah,
become who you're meant to be in the first place. Like, I think, yeah, most of us probably became better versions of ourselves in sobriety than we were before the drugs and alcohol took over. So
for
it's pretty cool
sure.
to see.
I think
For
one of
sure.
the things I do struggle with though is I feel very hypocritical. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but I feel like when there's people around me that are going through things or have problems in their life and they're drinking a lot, like I almost feel like I can't say anything because I sound like a hypocrite. Like I don't want to be
Yeah.
like, well, maybe if you like stop drinking so
Yeah.
much or like,
Yeah,
you
because they're
know,
like, oh, well,
went
Kaitlin
home
was drinking
instead
her
of
ass
out for
off.
drinks, you would,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like,
Yes.
who am I to say that? Like I only quit drinking a year and a half ago.
That is a good
Yeah.
topic, like that we could discuss more someday because, like, it is true. Like, I hesitate sometimes to talk to my friends who are like, what are you doing tonight? Or I'm going to the Seahawks game. I'm going to be drinking beforehand, and I want to say something because I know, in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, they're dealing with stress in that way. But I'm like, that's how I used to deal with stress, and I'm like hopeful they'll figure it out on their own. But I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, I should say something too, which makes me feel bad that I don't.
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like a preacher. I feel like a preacher every time I do that. I'm just like, I sound like I'm preaching and being one of those sober people. So yeah, I tend to shut myself up too. And I'm just like, right. But
And do you ever think? Do you
Yeah.
yeah,
ever
maybe
think people
saying
are gonna?
something.
What was that?
I don't know, saying something sometimes depending on the situation isn't so bad. I mean, for me, it was my fiance when he was grieving his mom and he had just a few beers, like nothing out of control the day after. I was like, this isn't, in my head. I was like, this isn't gonna help you. It's not gonna help you. You're gonna cry. You're gonna feel good for like 20 minutes and then it's gonna make you worse. But I let him
Yeah.
do it. So I get it. He's gonna hear this. So yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you ever feel like I just like reactivated my personal Facebook a couple days ago, and I'm just like posting all these pro sobriety things finally, like and letting the people from my past kind of see that I've gotten sober and stuff, and I'm just kind of waiting to like maybe to get some resentment for some people because they're just like, I only knew Ryan when he was a complete shit show, and now look at him trying to do this podcast and be all sober. Like sometimes I feel
Yeah.
like it hasn't happened yet, but in my mind, I'm just assuming like people are going to respond badly to my sobriety. And that's not even true because I got all these like nice feedback and stuff, and people say they're proud of me. But like, it just shows that you
Yeah.
still can kind of get that negative mindset sometimes and get like, think that
Yeah.
sobriety is going to bring on some negativity, but it really doesn't. I mean, I think the more outspoken we are, it seems like the more rewarding it is.
I
Yep.
just tell myself I was like super loud and obnoxious when I was wasted, and I would be like letting the whole world know how drunk I was. So like now that I'm not, like, and I'm proud of it, like I'm going to be
Yeah,
just as loud about quitting
I like
drinking
that.
and like how much
Exactly.
of a
Yes.
better person it's made me, because I'm sure there's definitely lots of people in my life. Like I did make an Instagram account not too long ago to start making videos about how much better my life is since I quit drinking. And I do hope that there's people in my life that watch them that take my advice, that I'm too hesitant to say it to their face. Like I do hope that they are like, you know what? Wow, Kaitlin, you were a fucking disaster. And like, look at you now making all this sense. Like,
That's
maybe
awesome.
I
Yeah.
should try that.
Yeah. And what is the Instagram handle so you can throw it up on the screen here?
So it's mocktails and meltdowns.
If you want
I
it on
like
the screen,
that a
assuming.
lot.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
listeners might want to see your page. So, and I
Yeah.
know I was kind of scrolling through some of your videos even during the interview, and it's like really interesting. Can you explain what happened in the picture where your face is all bloody?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
I'm a
please.
I
little
went for
concerned about that
I
one.
need to know. I'm
my
concerned.
friend. I was concerned because I didn't understand why my blood was so thick. I didn't think that was supposed to be normal, but whatever. Went for a bike ride with my friend, Julie. She saved my life. We weren't even friends. And then she was at work listening to all these people talk when I was on mat leave, talk about how much of a mess I was becoming. And she was like, has anyone checked on her? And they were like, no. And then she showed up at my house. And now we're like this.
Aw.
So she ended up coming to hang out with me and support me and stuff. So she came over one day when I was drinking. I think I probably even told her I wasn't drinking. And she asked me if I wanted to go for a bike ride. And I was like, sure. So we went for a bike ride downtown and we were out by the marina. There's like a bunch of boats and stuff. And there's those big, like, round things that you can like dock your boat onto. And I was riding my bike and I was just talking, not paying attention. Like, and it was coming off of a bridge. So it was like downhill. And I rode right into the thing that you like
Jeez.
dock your boat on, and ate it over the handlebars and smashed my face off the ground. But my front teeth are fake because I got them knocked out.
Mine are too. Yeah.
from a drinking incident 5
Yep.
years ago.
Me too.
And I was scared. I was missing my teeth. So I was like trying to see what if I still had my front teeth, and my face was just fucked. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
Hey, we both got fake
Well,
teeth from drunken accidents. Great.
yeah. And then I'm pretty sure I told a bunch of people I was sober when it happened, which just like made me look 10 times more dumb. But whatever.
I tried
Yeah.
that
Well-
story on my falling down the stairs accident when I was drunk, and I tried to say, "Oh no, I was going for a jog," but in reality, I had drank all night before that jog, and trying to go on a jog and change your life around in the middle of the night is not the healthy way to do it. And I fell
Yeah.
down some stairs, so, and I showed
Yeah,
pictures
I don't have
on
a story like
some other
that.
episodes. Yeah, it's like my face. I didn't
Damn.
even think it was gonna be recognizable when I saw the before pictures, and I was just like, Jesus, teeth were all gone, and it's just like, well,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's
quite
pretty
the
interesting.
yeah, but no, thank you for sharing that with us. So, like,
For sure.
after all you've been through, I'm sure Rachel and I want to know, like, what advice would you give to people that are like newly sober, sober curious, been sober for a while, but want to maintain that sobriety? What would you say?
Yeah.
Sober, trying to stay sober. I don't know. Like, just keep going. Like, it's hard. Like it's a day-to-day journey. Like you're never gonna like all of a sudden be like 3 years sober and it's not gonna be hard. Like I can't say that for sure, but I can't well from drugs I can. Like it's not gonna not be hard. Like there's gonna be scenarios, you're gonna come across people, you're gonna get yourself into situations that you can't anticipate happening. And it's just the choice you make on how you handle it, right? And like for me, like all the time, like I don't know, I'm around alcohol every single day at work, and we release new drink venues, and I'll never try them, but people tell me how amazing they are, and it's just I don't know, it's a day to day journey, and it's not easy, but it's worth it. Like I don't think one bad thing has come from me stopping drinking, so why would I go back
That's
to
so
all the
true.
nonsense?
Never heard of anybody's life getting worse quitting drinking. So,
No. Like everybody in life has things that happen to them and they're stressful and you get in shitty situations. You don't need to drink to handle them.
yeah,
It's
I know.
actually
Right.
probably easier
When you
if you
drink,
don't.
Yeah.
you don't really handle them.
Yeah, you just like put it off.
Yeah, you just put it off and say, "Oh fuck it," till I get sober, and then it gives you more anxiety once you start to sober up, and
Yeah.
you're like, more alcohol needed. So it's
Yeah.
just a endless cycle. So, Rachel, did you have
Uh-huh.
any other questions before we kind of close up?
No, and you're an inspiration as a mom to another mom. It's not easy, let alone being a woman trying to get it together at our age, just living
Yeah.
life, being a mom and trying to do sobriety and actually doing it, not trying, actually doing it. Inspiring, and I'm with you, girl. Like it's hard. My son's he's going to be 13 in February. I chose to get sober a little after his 10th birthday. So I missed out on I did miss out on about a decade of his life. So that sadness that you like felt, I related to instantly a whole decade. And the only thing I could say is to you and to the other mothers listening is we cannot get that time back. There's nothing we could do, but we could be present now and continue to just be there and enjoy what we have now and make new memories because we can't go back. We can't, and we can't beat ourselves up about it. We can't.
Yes,
We got to
well
let
said.
that go.
Yeah.
Well said. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us, Kaitlin. I appreciate
Thank you for having me.
sharing
Mhm.
your story, and yeah, so we'll close up here soon. And yeah, thank you. Hopefully, we can have you back on for more topics in the future. So,
Sounds good.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
all right, thank you.
Okay.
Rock Bottom with Ryan. No bullshit, just recovery.